Hello and welcome to Current Issues. With over 80 lakh vehicles, the national capital of India is the traffic nightmare for commuters. In addition to that, lakhs of vehicles enter Delhi every day, causing creeping traffic jams in Delhi. The Aam Aadmi Party ruled Delhi has come up with a solution to implement the odd-even plan and bring relief to commuters. But the plan has come in for praise and criticism in equal measure. Discussing the issue today with us are Vinod Sharma, senior journalist, Aam Aadmi Party leader Somnath Bharti, Congress spokesperson Avan Pawar and BJP leader Vaibhav Agarwal. But let us have a look at some of the highlights first.
Odd even formula is back on Delhi roads. With the return of car restrictions in Delhi, roads in the national capital today saw relatively fewer private vehicles and less traffic snarls. 511 people were fined for non-compliance to the rules in the first 5 hours of its rollout by the Delhi Traffic Police. The scheme so far exempts VIPs, women, school-going children, medical emergencies, commercial vehicles and CNG cars and two-wheelers. The experiment was first attempted between January 1st and the 15th after pollution levels reached dire levels in December last year. The January scheme was largely considered successful, with residents of the capital adhering to the new rules and Delhi's typically gridlocked roads suddenly seemed much more manageable.
निकल नहीं पाते आदमी, एक घंटा लग जाता है ट्रैफिक में और अब तो काफी अच्छा है कि ये हर महीने मतलब होना चाहिए 15 दिन के लिए। पॉल्यूशन में भी कुछ बदलाव हुआ है, फिर आगे देखते हैं क्या होता है।
ऐसा होना चाहिए, बट प्रदूषण के लिए तो नहीं बोलूंगी, बट हाँ टाइम बच जाता है इससे।
In Delhi, odd even has been enforced through Delhi High Court directed the centre and state governments to come up with comprehensive action plans to put a check on the capital city's alarming pollution rate. But questions on the reduction of pollution level remain. In the past, 15 odd cities with serious air pollution issues have tried the odd even traffic rationing based on number plates. While some cities saw a genuine reduction in pollution levels, the policy has failed in many other cities. In 2008, just before the Summer Olympics, a similar scheme was implemented in Beijing. While the rule was initially said to be temporary, it turned out to be so effective the government made it permanent. Similarly, road rationing rules are imposed in many places around the world, like Paris, Mexico and Bogota, to curb road jams and pollution. Odd even formula in its first phase was praised for reduced traffic snarls, which was a welcome relief for many. The scheme raises many questions, including its being ineffective in reducing the levels of pollution, which was the main reason for its implementation.
So now let us start with the question of the day. The question is, should odd even be made regular? Should this be a regular feature? Do you want this to go on forever or should it be intermittent? So you could send your answers to newsworld.in on Twitter, Facebook, or you can also log into our website, which is newsworldindia.in. Now let us come to Vinod Sharma, senior journalist. What do you think? Should odd even be made regular?
Well, you see, of course, it can't remain a pilot project.
Yes.
It started as a pilot project in the last winters. And now we are seeing the beginning of pilot project 2.
Yes.
But I think that the government has to do some serious hard work.
Yes.
And has to be on the same page as the Lieutenant Governor, because the Lieutenant Governor in a recent interview to a television channel had said that to make it interminable would require a lot of effort, and as follows, that is you have to increase the rapid mass transport system, improve it. You have to make sure that the children who go to schools, how would they commute?
A small interjection. You've seen Delhi grow over all these years. You've been in Delhi for the past 30-35 years. Has the public transport kept pace with the demands? So is the public transport keeping pace with the demands of the citizens? Or do you think a lot has to be done on public transport?
Nothing is keeping pace. No infrastructure in Delhi is keeping pace with the exponential growth in the population.
Okay.
Not that the Delhiites have been procreating.
Yes.
People have been coming from across India in search of jobs and livelihoods in the city.
Yes.
And if you take a stroll or you go on a drive to certain areas in Delhi in the night, you would see that how many of them sleep under the sky. So there are serious issues concerning the people and urban congestion in this city.
So now,
and because of urban congestion, you have had to bring in this pilot project, which is, I think, praiseworthy. But it is today
Yes.
not as successful as it was in the winters.
At this
previously.
point, I like to get in BJP leader Vaibhavi Agarwal. So, what do you think of this? Vinod Sharma just made a point that your infrastructure or your traffic infrastructure, or even if you talk of the public transport has not kept pace with the increase in population. So on the one hand, Delhi witnesses a lot of migration, a lot of people come into the city, but the public transport doesn't keep pace. So what do you think about this? I mean, what are your views on this issue?
I think there are two aspects to the entire story.
Yes.
The first aspect is a social aspect.
Yes.
We have to understand the dynamics of the city. As senior journalist Vinodji pointed out, that there are many people who are migratory in the town of Delhi.
Yes.
There are many people who are residents of Delhi.
Yes.
Many people from all walks of life in Delhi are there. We have to understand what are their transport needs first.
Yes.
So there is a social aspect to it.
Yes.
If you do not give them transport, if you do not enable them transport, public transport,
Yes.
or transport in general, which they are doing on their own,
Yes.
then that means you're asking them not to earn their livelihood.
Yes.
So there is a social impact here.
Yes.
Okay. The second part is, we all have seen during the first phase of odd and even,
Yes.
it has been proven that the pollution did not decrease.
Yes.
IIT has come out and said that pollution will not decrease because there are other major factors, not because half of the cars go off the town,
Yes.
off the road. It is not about congestion. Pollution is not about congestion. Congestion is about time.
Yes.
Let's face it.
Yes.
Let's face a fact. Congestion is about convenience.
Yes.
Let's look at that.
Yes.
Now we have to understand, are we doing odd and even? Aam Aadmi Party has to come out very clear in that.
Yes.
Are they doing odd and even formula, troubling the citizens of Delhi, the residents of Delhi,
Yes.
and the people who are coming to Delhi for political gain,
Yes.
which is A,
Yes.
benefiting the autowalas, which is major of their vote bank.
Yes.
B, is it for political gain to benefit the rickshawalas, which is major of their vote bank?
Yes.
B, is it a masses policy?
Yes.
Or D,
Yes.
is it that they're doing it for social impact?
At this point, I would like to get in Aman Pawar, who is from the Congress party. Aman, are you there with us? Aman, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I would like to
Yes,
know
I
from
can.
you, one of the greatest, what you can say, infrastructure additions to the city of Delhi happened during the past 10 years due to the Commonwealth Games under the leadership of the Congress party in Delhi. So what happened? I mean, has still the public transport net addition not been able to keep pace with the development? How do you see this whole issue?
Tarun, I think all of us are aware that the Delhi Metro, which is the lifeline of Delhi,
Yes.
and actually enables most of the commuters to travel
Yes.
in the capital city, was brought by the Congress.
Yes.
Anyway, today it is not about the Congress, we are not in power.
Yes.
It is about the scheme,
Yes.
and the Aam Aadmi Party is in power.
Yes.
And we need to understand that certainly this scheme was not brought to actually bring down the congestion in the city.
Yes.
It was brought to bring down the pollution,
Yes.
Absolutely.
and that objective it has failed to achieve.
Absolutely.
And now they have actually changed their goalpost from pollution to congestion.
Absolutely.
If congestion is their main aim,
Yes.
my question to the Aam Aadmi Party is that
Yes.
what have they done to actually augment and structurally change the public transport after they have implemented this scheme?
Yes.
I'll give you some statistics,
Please
and
do.
they are very revealing statistics. That in 2013, there were 6,500 DTC buses in Delhi.
Yes.
Today in 2016, there are 4,500 DTC buses in Delhi.
Okay.
Since the Aam Aadmi Party has come to power, they have not added a single bus.
Okay.
And now they are, they spend about 16 crores in implementing the odd and even scheme
Yes.
every time the scheme is launched
Yes.
for 15
Yes.
days, out of which 4 crore rupees are spent only in advertisements.
Okay.
So has this become a publicity
So,
seeking mechanism?
At this point,
or
let
is the
me
government actually serious?
get in
If the
Somnath
government was
Bharti of the
serious,
Aam Aadmi Party.
why
Could you
not
get
use
me
this
Somnath
money in
Bharti of the
bringing
Aam
new
Aadmi
buses
Party?
in Delhi?
Hello, Mr. Somnath Bharti of the Aam Aadmi Party. Can you hear me? See,
I can hear you, sir. Yes.
What we are seeing is a lot of allegations from the Congress. You did not even add a single bus after you came to power. They also they're making allegations to the effect that you spending a lot on advertisements. How do you respond to that when you hear? Also, I've got some data here with me which says that the DTC has been waiting for 1,380 buses to come for the past 1 year or so. So why have these buses not been delivered? One, and how do you respond to what allegations the Congress is making against your government?
Tarunji, See, odd even formula
Yes.
has been appreciated across the world, starting from Washington DC to China.
Yes.
I don't understand
Yes.
whether it be Congress or it be BJP, where appreciation of foreign countries by foreign countries has been the benchmark
Yes.
of everything what they have done at all.
Okay.
If at all they were appreciated in the past.
Okay.
Here is a case where Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal ji, was listed in the top 50 leaders and he was the only Indian of the world.
Yes.
Problem there is Congress or BJP is not able to digest that at such a huge level participation by people
Yes.
and a program is becoming successful,
Yes.
they cannot digest it
Yes.
because our government is doing everything which people want.
Yes.
It is the people of Delhi.
Yes.
See, we have held 272 meetings
Yes.
in 272 wards
Yes.
across Delhi
Yes.
before implementing this scheme second time.
Yes. So Vaibhavi Agarwal.
All the suggestions which were forwarded to us from all these meetings,
Yes.
we incorporated.
Mr.
It is
Bharti,
the
I would
decision of
like
the
to
people
get
of
in
Delhi to
Vaibhavi
have this
Agarwal at
online
this
place.
point.
I
If
don't
you see
understand,
Somnath Bharti.
instead of worrying,
Yeah,
that
Mr. Somnath
Delhi,
Bharti, give
which
me a
has
minute.
been
I'll get in
the
Mr. Agarwal
most
to respond to your
polluted
allegations.
city in 1600 cities across the world. If at all we need to do something, we need to work together how to make it pollution free.
Yes. So what Mr. Bharti is telling that you are simply jealous because their leader has been, quote unquote, among the most 50 influential leaders of the world.
Sure.
So what do you think? I mean, is it a case of simple
the
jealousy
problem
because
is-
they are doing what you couldn't?
Yeah, we couldn't. Sorry, we did not rule Delhi, so we couldn't. Absolutely, give us an opportunity and we will.
Yes.
We will do it much better.
Yes.
So, besides being the point where Somnathji left, is that yes, he's right. We should be able to sit across the table and do it together.
Yes.
But Mr. Bharti, has Aam Aadmi Party reached out to all of us?
Yes.
Have they tried to get a consensus?
Yes.
Have they tried to take a buy-in from everyone? Have you tried to make a special presentation to the parliament when the session was on, saying that, hey, we have this as a proposal for the second time. Why don't we discuss this and implement it together? Okay, forget about all this. Have you tried to has Aam Aadmi Party been able to bring out
Yes.
through its website, which you most often do,
Yes.
the facts that and the learnings that you had from the last session, and have you been able to bring forth the learnings from there, plugged in the gaps? I mean, of course, your leader was named in top 50, whichever magazine named him, and you've been in news quite some time, and so about 23 other MLAs of
It
Aam
was
Aadmi
not
Party have
whichever
been in news.
magazine.
But
The
so
magazine
this
which
is one of the
which you
ways.
all have been,
Yeah,
which
allow
you all
me.
have
See,
been
I-
appreciating all along.
Allow me.
It is not just
I
whichever
did not
magazine.
interrupt. I did not interrupt. Allow me.
Let me get somebody who's almost like an independent observer to all this. Vinod Sharma, how do you feel when you watch all this slanging match between the Congress, the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party? How do you feel when you see this?
This is competitive politics.
Yes.
Frankly, may I say one thing? There are certain things which go in favor of the Aam Aadmi Party, and there are certain suggestions which need to be afforded to them, tendered to them, in order to make this better. I think that Mr. Somnath Bharti would be best advised to take a survey and ask his party to take a survey as to what is the level of happiness with this scheme
Yes.
compared to the first round.
Okay.
Because in the first round, all schools were closed.
Yes.
Schools were on vacation.
Yes, perfect.
This is the round where the schools are open.
Yes.
And we have had reports
Yes.
that children in this punishing weather conditions
Yes.
are not able to bear an alternative mode of transport
Yes.
as opposed to their father coming and picking them up in
totally
their car.
right.
Yes.
Secondly, mass rapid transportation system in this city
Yes.
can be improved only up to a point,
Yes.
because road communication remains the same in Delhi.
Yes.
And we have allowed big cars to
Yes.
travel with smaller cars.
Yes.
And all modes
Yes.
of transportation are used in Delhi,
Yes.
which causes a great chaos. You see, pollution levels will be contained only
Yes.
when you first address the urban congestion
Yes.
question.
So at this
Only
moment-
after a long-term solution
this
for a
moment,
number urban
Vinodji, just-
please let me finish. Only a long-term solution to the urban congestion.
Only a long-term
A
solution.
decongestion of Delhi
Yes.
in various myriad ways.
Yes.
Would you recommend a holistic approach to the entire topic?
No,
rather
it's
than
not a
specific?
question of holistic approach. I think that they must put all political parties.
Absolutely.
You owe it to us. You have to put your heads together.
Absolutely.
And don't expect Aam Aadmi Party to come to you till the time you have a relationship of hostility with them.
but
Please
they are
understand
the
this.
ruling
There's a history.
So
There's a
let us
history.
not have a
So
slanging
develop
match
a
here. What
level
I'll
of
get
trust.
is
They have-
Develop a level
I'll
of
get
trust
the
with
Aam
them.
Aadmi Party in here. Somnath Bharti, as you see all these people talking, are you of the intent that you want to make this plan permanent? Should it be a regular fixture according to you, or is your government intending to do that in the coming future?
Tarun, let me first answer the question of Mr. Babav.
Yes.
Mr. Babav said that give us Delhi, we will make it beautiful.
Yes.
Sir, we gave you India. We have not made it beautiful so far.
Sir,
you
allow
have
us
made
to
us
function, we'll
embarrassed
do it.
in the international arena also.
Yes.
Pakistan has done something which has never been done to this nation.
No, let's talk
To be
No,
about
but
honest.
let's
Kindly understand.
keep the
I don't want to
topic
get
of
into
our
another
debate to odd event
Participants
today.
from all channels we called you. We called you from all channels. We had invited suggestions from everybody. You could have well sent your suggestions. I don't know whether you have sent your suggestions or not. See, we want to incorporate suggestions from whatever corner it may come from. We are ready to accept good suggestions. Down to politics. Delhi is the worst polluting city in the 1600 cities across the nation, across the world. We all owe our duty to Delhi to make it decongested, to make it pollution free. This is just one of many measures which Aam Aadmi Party intends to take in future.
At this point, I would like in my team to bring in, show you viewers the GFX plate. It talks that PM 2.5 tiny particles which actually lodge deep into your lungs and cause respiratory problems. If you see on the second day, the data shows, a second day of odd even, the data of PM 2.5 shows a spike. So despite having odd even rule in place, what you're seeing is that the pollution levels of PM 2.5 that can cause a host of diseases actually went up. So
Hello.
So
Can
the
you hear
result
me?
is for all result is in front of you. The data shows that the PM 2.5 levels are up. At Anand Vihar, they are up from 55 to 168. At RK Puram, from 74 to 151. Same at Mandir Marg, again up from 40 to 106. Punjabi Bagh up 41 from 41 to 151. Vinod, what do you think? The pollution levels seem to be up, but the Aam Aadmi Party claims that this step will help in reducing pollution.
May I say one thing? You
Yes.
see, the biggest contributor to the
Yes.
pollution levels in Delhi are the two-wheelers. you
Yes.
know. And they far outnumber the cars.
Yes.
It is true that, I mean, some people are alleging that the Aam Aadmi Party is being politically
Yes.
expedient
Yes.
in leaving these people out.
Yes.
But they have been repeatedly promising that they will bring them within the ambit of this scheme.
Yes.
But may I first suggest that this, you see, whatever experience you pick up
Yes.
from this project,
Yes.
because the earlier one was all hunky-dory
Yes.
and they got huge support from the people
Yes.
because roads were really wider
Yes.
than one saw in Delhi
Yes.
in the first experiment.
Yes.
But
That's
today,
Yes.
I, for instance, went from my residence in Mayur Vihar
Yes.
to Chhatarpur,
Yes.
and it took me over 2 hours to reach there,
Yes.
and the kind of traffic snarls I had to
Yes.
wade
So
through
actually,
was
Vinod
unimaginable. I
maintains-
thought
Vinod-
that there was no
why is
odd
that?
even today.
But Vinod maintains that he's still suffering in traffic jams despite
No,
odd even.
but today I suffered. What
Today-
I am saying
today.
is that I am not a cynic.
Yes.
I am not rejecting this idea.
Yes.
I am only saying make it more robust.
You know, there is a very big point I'd like to add on to Vinodji's point here.
Yes, yes.
Very strangely, from the math point,
Yes.
and Somnathji, if you're listening to me,
Yes.
I think you should also listen to me. I don't know if you have a retort on that or not.
Yes.
I, as a Delhi
Ji.
resident, wants to know that.
Yes.
Now, every time I have 3 cars at home, by the way.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they're all odd numbers, so I don't have the luxury to drive my own car on either of the days.
Yes.
So now tell me, when I register my car, I pay my road tax for an X number of period,
Yes.
which is days.
Yes.
So every time you have odd and even, does the Delhi government plan to refund the road tax that has been charged to the residents, to the cars, to the vehicle owners?
Another thing. One more thing.
Yes.
This time, Mr. Bharti.
And then the PUC
Right,
certificate
one
is
sec,
valid
one
for
sec,
this
one
Respond
sec,
to
one
this?
sec.
number of
No,
days.
Mr.
question-
Bharti, one sec. This time the
Tarun, should I
police.
respond to this?
Mr. Bharti, one more point.
Yes.
You respond to both of us together. The police was hyperactive this time, and they were stopping cars in the middle of the road to challan them, those who were not supposed to be on the roads
So
today.
all charges at Mr. Bharti
No,
today.
no, listen.
Yes.
I asked the policeman,
Yes.
why are you stopping these cars? Why don't you simply note down their numbers,
Yes.
challan them,
Yes.
and have a note and have the challan sent to them in the at their respective places?
Yes.
And they will be dealing with the court directly.
Yes.
I think there are certain elements in the police
Yes.
who are not actually with this scheme.
Yes.
You must know this.
Yes. So, Mr. Somnath Bharti, two people making allegations. Mr. Sharma says that police is actually not with the scheme. They are actually
certain elements.
certain elements
No, I
of the
don't think
Delhi
it's
police are
wrong
not with the scheme.
if
Whereas,
wrong
whereas,
Vinodji is
whereas
cornering
if
the
you see
police,
Mr.
that's
Vaibhav,
not
he actually
a
complains
point
the whole
that can be
rationale.
bought.
He says he pays his road
Police
tax
in
of
the
15
first place
years.
was not a
So
very-
why,
You
why,
are
saying you don't
you know,
believe
why,
in
why
the
should this
in
not be?
Delhi
So,
city's police?
could we get Mr. Somnath
Are you going on
Bharti?
record to say that?
Tarun,
Yes.
Tarunji,
Yes.
I
I'm
do
a
not
crime
agree
reporter
with
in the
the-
city. Don't
Yeah,
tell
but
me.
you
I
don't
do not
believe
agree
the
with
police, right?
Vinodji in
I don't
its
trust the police
entirety.
anywhere.
Yes.
See, in its entirety, because Vinodji,
Yeah.
police has been very cooperative.
Yes.
Since the time new commissioner of police has come,
Yes.
I think police has been very cooperative to our schemes. But your suggestion is very welcome that the challans possibly could be sent by post or something like that.
Yes,
The cars
that's normally,
need not
that's
be
normally
stopped
done.
on the roads,
You
because
don't
that will
stop
lead
the
to
cars in the
congestion.
middle of the road.
Possible, yeah.
That's a very good suggestion, Vinodji.
Yes.
Now let me come to the question of Mr. Vaibhav.
Yes.
Mr. Vaibhav said that would you return this road tax?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Vaibhav, the kind of problem we're trying to address this moment by odd even scheme is not a joke, sir. We're trying to address the pollution which is the cause of making more than 50% of the children of Delhi
Yes.
with the
But
with
Mr.
respiratory
Bharti, there is
disease.
one point.
They are
there is a-
suffering from
let me
respiratory
ask a
disease.
question to Mr.
More than
Bharti.
50% children.
Mr. Bharti, there is
Don't
an
make it a
IIT
joke.
You know, no,
that
I would
road
like
tax
to-
was
but
not
give me-
going
give me
to
a
be returned
second.
or
Mr.
not.
Somnath,
Sir, जान बचे तो लाखों पाए.
ठीक है,
जब
perfect.
जिएंगे
Mr.
तो
Bharti,
सब कुछ
there is one
करोगे.
question that I would like to ask you. You are also an IITian, so you would bear me out. IIT Kanpur has a report. They studied and they came out with a report which says that the pollution from private vehicles is actually a very small fraction of the total pollution in the city of Delhi. So actually, the private vehicles don't contribute as much to the pollution as is being made out. So I mean, don't you think that you being
the scheme on
actually
that fact? I want to ask a more pertinent question, Tarun, here.
Yes.
That what the most imperative question Mr. Bharti has very conveniently dodged here.
Yes.
That what about the number of buses? Why have they not added any buses?
Yes,
in
that's
the
what
past
I
1
asked.
year?
Then
The
that's
bus
what I
number of
asked,
buses
Mr.
has
Bharti.
drastically gone down in the past 1.5 years.
Yes,
What
yes,
has he
maybe
done
I
in
asked
No,
regards
no,
to
Aman,
that?
I would not dodge any question, please.
Yes.
Do
No,
not-
no,
do
Mr.
not
Bharti,
take it
so
that
two
way.
questions to you.
Sir,
So the IIT
with
Kanpur
all
study, one
humility, I
and
am
the number of
submitting
buses too.
that we have not,
To the
we
private
have, see,
cab owners.
the
They are the
number of
ones who's
buses to be
benefiting.
added in the
absence of
existing
public
fleet of
transport,
DTC.
the
Let's not have a
private
standing
on.
match here.
We have
Let
added around
us give
600
some
buses.
time to Mr.
I
Bharti
think
to answer.
possibly
The number of
1,000,
people has not decreased.
64
The
buses
number of
are
Aman,
going to be added by
Aman,
the end of the
Aman,
year.
they are still very
So,
high. So
please
they have to actually go
be
by
rest
private
assured
cabs.
that public transport will become the best in our regime.
Yes.
The way we are
Will
trying to
become.
make
You have already
government
launched the
schools,
scheme. You say it
government
will become.
hospitals, similar
Why
way,
did you
the
launch
government public transport is going to be made the best in our regime. We are
So you agree,
absolutely
Somnath ji, that
stressing
yours is a
upon
regime, not a government?
the needs of the people, the government education, the government schools, the government hospitals, and everything which is primarily used by the people who cannot afford
let me
private
just-
affairs.
let me
We
just
are working
put
very
data.
hard to make them
Health,
strong and
Let's
robust.
would
put
like to
some
take an
data out for the
emotional
benefit
point
of
here.
viewers. You had Beijing, which actually introduced this scheme before the Olympics, discontinued it later. Then my data says that Mexico City had this scheme quite a few years back. They also discontinued it. So basically, a lot of cities have such schemes and discontinue them because they are not the total and final solution. I would like to have final words from each of the participants of the discussion today. Let me start with Vinod. Is this a final solution, or you need to much more holistic
No,
planning?
it's you always make a beginning somewhere.
yes.
It's a beginning
Yes.
that they have made, and let us not prejudge it.
Yes.
I personally feel that there could be some ingenious thinking,
Yes.
and one, according to me, could be that first I said that don't ask, the cops shouldn't be challaning people on the roads.
Yes. Good
They should simply note down their numbers
Yes.
and send the challan to the place.
Yes.
Second, I think that there could be two sets of office hours in Delhi,
Yes.
so as to reduce pressure during peak hours.
Yes.
peak hours occur twice a day.
Yes.
In the morning and in the evening when
Yes.
people are going for work and people are returning from work.
Yes.
And third, I think that there has to be some special thinking,
Yes.
some special attention paid
Yes.
to the kids
Yes.
who go to school.
Yes.
Now, what solution is there? They should discuss
Good-
it
good
with
point, good
school
point from-
authorities and maybe come up with some
Good
paradigm.
point from Vinod. He said 2 sets of office timings. That's a very good point. But coming to Weber, what do you think about this?
Odd and even or any other formula
Yes.
to give the residents of Delhi some respite from A, congestion, B, pollution.
Yes.
I think it's a more than welcome step. But in the entirety, the way it's being carried out, it's not right. So a small emotional point. I have a friend
Yes.
who's an entrepreneur and who's a woman, by the way, who's an entrepreneur, a lady, who's a wife,
Yes.
who's a mother,
Can we
who's a
finish
sister.
quickly? I'm just totally out of time.
So when
Can you
she
sum it up?
when she goes to drop the children
Yes.
at 7:30, she can drop the children, but while returning back,
Yes.
and I'm not talking about the woman driver, I'm talking about her husband.
Yes.
So when he comes back, wouldn't he be caught? So
Yes.
what is the solution you're trying to provide? So, you know, my suggestion to Somnath Bharti ji and the Parivahan Mantri and the government and the entirety,
Yes,
while
yes,
they're
yes.
trying to
So
make Delhi a very good
actually,
place.
I'll have to apologize.
think-
We're totally out of time. But
Take
the
a
sense I
holistic
get
approach.
from the debate is, as Vinod said, as Aman said, as Somnath and Weber, we've at least made a beginning. But this is not the be all and end all. There are a lot of things to be done, including improving public transport and end-to-end transport, which is a big issue. Let us see how things go and how the government performs in the coming years. Thank you so much for joining us for today's debate.